I really hope this is in focus. I regret this later. Whatever. I'm just having a whole mental breakdown on camera. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Giovanna Rodriguez. Oh, and I have psychogenic non-epileptic seizures. Nice to meet you too. Before I begin, I would just like to make a disclaimer that this video is not meant for me to gain sympathy or pity from anyone. My goal is just to make this as informational as possible in order to spread awareness of this condition. So you might ask, what even is a seizure? An epileptic seizure is caused by unusual electrical activity in the brain. Seizures may briefly affect vision, speech, muscle control, and awareness. A psychogenic non-epileptic seizure, also known as a pseudo-seizure, differs is that there is no unusual electric brain activity occurring at the time of the seizure. About 1 in 8 people referred to epilepsy specialists turn out to have psychogenic non-epileptic seizures. PNES is also more common in women than in men. PNES may consist of altered senses, confusion, convulsions, loss of consciousness, as well as stiffening. So you might ask, since PNES is not caused by unusual electrical activity in the brain, what causes it? So actually they are a physical manifestation of a psychological disturbance. This may be emotional or mental pain, such as loss of a loved one, abuse, or a major accident. When we undergo trauma, the body's way of expressing what the mind cannot. A diagnosis can be made by recording electrical activity patterns using an EEG, which is an electroencephalogram. And if there is no unusual brain activity at the time of the seizure, that would mean that there is no epilepsy found, in which case it would be a psychogenic non-epileptic seizure. Treatment of PNES can be very difficult, as is with many psychiatric disorders. However, the most effective treatment found for PNES is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. However, this does not work for all patients. Other patients choose to take antidepressants, which has been found helpful in some cases. Another option is going to therapy, which is what I personally did, where I met with a counselor. Now, yesterday I put up a Instagram story with the questions feature so that you guys could ask me anything you were wondering about. That's not focusing, but you could ask me any questions that you had regarding my experience with PNES. So one person asks, can you die from them? So no, PNES in itself is not deadly. However, if you were to have a seizure, like, you could possibly get hurt or even die from a seizure. For example, about 4 or 5 months ago over the summer, I had a seizure in my room and I was alone, but I was standing up like before having the seizure, and I fell and I landed on my butt and I fractured my tailbone. So that is an example of how it can be, you know, it could potentially be deadly. Like if you were driving a car and you had the seizure, you could get in a lethal accident. So yes and no, but PNES would not be the direct cause of death. So the next person asks, why did you get them? So I'm not gonna get too into depth with it because it's very personal, but I guess an overview. About a year ago, I was assaulted and I was very, very scared. I told one person, and it was someone that I trusted very much and that I really cared about and I thought would respect my wishes to keep it private. Did not, and they just decided to make that information public, and I was very disturbed, like mentally disturbed by that. You know, I only told one person that I trusted, and then that one person betrayed me. So that made me believe that I couldn't trust anyone. And so essentially I went about 6 months dealing with the assault completely 100% on my own. I did develop some post-traumatic stress, and so that is when the seizures started to happen. So I know that might be kind of confusing if you weren't there, but that's my best answer. I'm sorry. Next person asks, do they hurt? So no, seizures do not physically hurt. However, but it is hard. It's a difficult thing to mentally process because you are essentially robbed of your bodily autonomy, you know, like in the middle of a seizure, you have no control, and that is something that is very difficult to process. So no, they don't physically hurt, but emotionally it is a painful process to undergo. This person asks, how often do they happen? So this is different for everyone. I can only speak for myself, but it's kind of dependent on where I am mentally, which makes sense if you think about it. When I first got assaulted and when I first had that incident with the person who I had told about it, I was having them every single day. And that was like the worst of it. I was having them every single day, sometimes more than once a day, and that was really hard. I am so blessed and proud to say that I actually have not had a seizure in about 3 months now. This person asks, were you afraid of people finding out that you had seizures? In the beginning, yes. I still remember debating over whether or not to tell my friends, and it kind of just goes along with the stigma attached to mental illness. I didn't want people to think that I was weird. There have been people that have suggested that I should just stop having them, but yeah, that was hard. Sorry, I don't want to cry. That sucks because really there's nothing you can do about it, right? Like, I can't just decide not to have a seizure. It doesn't work like that. Although I wish it did. I'm just having a whole mental breakdown on camera. Like, even to this day, like, not many people know. At this point, only really my close friends and my family know. Of course, now I'm putting up this video for the internet to see, so that's great. But if someone is going to decide that they don't want to be around me because of a condition that I have no say over, then I don't really want you in my life anyway. I don't really want to surround myself by those kind of people regardless. So that is all the questions that I'm going to be answering for today. But if you have made it until this point in the video, I really just want to thank you for taking the time and the energy to listen to what I have to say. I really appreciate it. My entire goal with this video was just to raise awareness. The very first thing that I did was go online and try to find resources, and at the time there really weren't any. And so I just, to anyone out there that is going through the same thing, just know that you are not alone, and you are important, and you matter, and you are loved, and you will get through this, and you will be okay. I'm just hoping that even if one person who is going through the same thing can come across this video and find comfort in knowing that they are not alone, then that is my goal. It will get better, maybe not in a day, maybe not in a week, but eventually it will get better. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you next time. Oh, what? Am I out of focus? Hello? My back hurts. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, we gotta get it.